Peace and love, and welcome to Black Diamond Worldwide Outreach. Today, I wanted to talk about this wonderful celestial ball that we all live on, planet Earth. As we come off the heels of Earth Day, and I hope everyone had a good Earth Day. Hopefully you did something that was beneficial for our planet. Because when we come to understand how our planet sustains us, how this wonderful home that we all live on is just ready to fulfill our every need, is just ready to give us all that we desire, we can have a better appreciation for the planet and also our place on the planet, realizing that this wonderful planet is billions of years old, but we are here in this time, in this space, here in 2021, to express and to enjoy this wonderful energy that has been created and called Earth. So today I want you to remember that Earth teaches us how to be our best. Earth, there are so many lessons that we can take out of the way that nature performs, just naturally, just a naturally flowing organism that we call Earth. So I want us to examine today how we can take these lessons that Earth is teaching us and realize how we can formulate it into successful living for each and every one of us. So, put your fist in the air and affirm with me. I love who I am on this planet. I love who I am on this planet. I love where I am on this planet. What a great affirmation that we can all say, because so many people, because of experience, because they did something wrong, because they didn't measure up in some area of life, they feel that they have no right to be here. They feel that their very existence on this planet is a mistake. But nothing here can ever be a mistake. Nothing on this planet can ever be a mistake because it exists. It is here. So never feel that you are a mistake. Never feel that you don't have a right to be here. Love who you are on this planet. Last week we talked about this organism. Love the organism. Love the environment that you're in. And I know it can be difficult because we're dealing with a pandemic, and on top of that, we're dealing with other things in our life, other people with sicknesses and diseases and things like that. But we are still here on Earth. The first thing I want us to realize is that our Earth always sustains us. That's my number one lesson to let me know that this Earth always has my back, and it always has your back. When we think about gravity that holds us down, we cannot go too high in the air without protective equipment. We can't go too low. When I learned about spelunking and base jumping, right? There's a lot of that going on in Mexico, where literally people stand on the surface of the Earth and they parachute into a dark abyss. I would never do that because I don't know what's down there, But people do it, But just to realize that this surface, this gravity, and gravity is only a concept, remember that. But this gravity keeps us grounded. But we are supposed to stay here. We can't go too high or too low on the Earth. But there is also oxygen. When we think that this world sustains us with our very basic need. Last week we talked about how a baby takes a deep breath. That's the first thing that we all did to start life. But when we realize that the Earth already provides us with oxygen, the Earth already provides us with the basic thing that we need to survive. Why do we feel that the universe will just leave us there? Why do we feel that the universe won't provide everything else in this world? We have to know that. We have to know that we are provided for. Look at what happens in nature. Look at just what happens in nature. We have fruits and vegetables, right? All we need is here. All we need in this world already exists on this planet. When you look at most of the medications, in fact, the top 20 medications in the world have a plant derivative. So the universe, this world has already said, here is something to heal you. When we look at fruits and vegetables, every fruit, every vegetable has a nutritional value. This is what our world is giving us. It's giving us all that we need to sustain our life. The oxygen, the fruits, the vegetables, everything we need already exists. I want you also to think about this. You know, when people ask me to pray for them, they want a good relationship, they want a new job, they want a new house, a new car, whatever it is that we desire, we must remember that it already exists. The only thing that I've heard that doesn't exist is when you talk to inventors and they want to invent something new. But even in the last 100 years, there really hasn't been a revolutionary thing that's happened in this world, right? It's all evolved from something old and something that is just rotating. Even our cell phones, the news, communication is just an expanded idea of, you know, a tin cup and a string, right? We all have a desire to communicate with each other. We all have a desire to interact with one another on this planet. So it means then that the planet already has what we want, right? If there is something that you are praying for that doesn't already exist, I would love to hear about it. But we have to know that it already exists. The universe has already put these things in motion. It's just to get from our imagination, our prayer, and our affirmation into manifestation, into seeing what we want in this world. But we must know that we always have what we need. The earth always provides for us, and that is a great and wonderful thing. Affirm with me, fists in the air. I always have all I need. One more time. I always have all I need. When we talk about the earth teaching us how to be our best, we have to start with the seed. Let's look at how nature grows on earth, right? Growth on earth starts with the fertilization or the planting of a seed. Even us, right? Two things came together and created us, but there was a gestation period. When we look at the plants, I'm starting a garden thanks to my best friend. You know, last year she gave me some seeds and I was like, I can't do this. I don't know the first thing about gardening. But it wasn't too difficult. You put it in the sun as much as you can. You water it as many times as you can, and you see it. But we have to realize the gestation period of growth on this planet. We have to realize that when we plant a seed, right, it grows in the dirt and the darkness. It grows with worms. In fact, when I started planting, I realized that the more worms you have, the more worms are attracted to your crop, is the better that crop is. And that reminds me that there is so much dirt and darkness in the world, but this is the growth period. This is the gestation period. So I implore you, if you feel the darkness, if you know, when you go out, people don't even like to play in dirt just to break it up. Sometimes you got to break it up in order to plant it with the other things. And this can be metaphorically translated into our world. There is so much. I shouldn't even say so much. Let's even stop talking about that. But we have to acknowledge that there sometimes is darkness. There sometimes is dirt. There are sometimes worms in our life, right? The people, the places, the things in our life that we think are coming for our destruction, when we realize that the worms, those bad things, are only there because we are doing something great. We are doing something wonderful. People are not going to hate on you if there wasn't something to hate on. People would not hate on you if there wasn't something to hate on. So it means that you're doing okay. You are doing just fine. You are doing the Lord's work. You are doing this all universal force. You are doing it in this world in a great way. So we must know also that the seed has to die before it can grow. We plant a seed, but the seed doesn't come up. It has to transform into something new. So all this darkness that you're going through, it is transforming you into something new. Realize that your dream is the seed and the earth is the soil. What are you watering your thoughts with? What are you watering your words with? How are you taking care of the seed that you are planting on this earth? Affirm with me. I send out my word and the universe always manifests. I send out my word, and the universe always manifests. Just listen, come to the realization that the universe, all the universe knows how to do is to manifest a desire. Those thoughts that we're getting that says, do this, do that, that is the universe talking to us. That is the universe telling us that everything will be okay. Follow your intuition, follow your mind, and go for your dreams, go for your goal. Don't get buried under the weight of experience. We are the seeds that are being planted in the ground, but we forget that God is forever planting for us. We are the perennials of this earth, which means that we can grow perpetually. Now, when we say perennials, people say, oh, it's once a year. Let's not put a time limit on the transformations in our lives. Let's not put a time limit on the changes that need to take place in our lives. It doesn't happen. We can gauge the growth on the planet, but let's not restrict ourselves to time limits for our growth in our world. So instead of feeling like you are buried under the weight of experience, know that you are planted in the wisdom of God. Know that this all universal force has brought you to this time and place and is giving you all that you need. You are not buried, you are planted. Fists in the air, top of your lungs. Say with me, I have been planted. I have been planted. And I will grow. I will grow. I will grow. Yes. Another point I want to bring to your attention this morning. In nature, again, Earth teaches us everything we need to know. The natural occurrences in the world teaches us all we need to know. And so it begins with the seed, how the seed grows in darkness and comes up to this wonderful, beautiful, and produces more. Not only does this little seed produce, but it produces much more than the seed could ever be. But I also want us to recognize how species on the planet naturally migrate. They do that with instinct and intuition. We see it all the time. You watch Planet Earth and these different things. You see how herds of all types of animals, not only animals that have legs and move around the earth, but also fish. There are thousands of species that migrate from one part of the earth to another. We must know that we have the wisdom to transition into the next thing. The wisdom of migration, the wisdom of transition lives in us. It is that intuition in your mind that says, do this, go here, this is what you need to do next. We feel that, oh, I can't do this. What about the money? I know I'm going through that too, where we are transitioning into something new, but it's those thoughts that come in that you have to be responsible. You have to do this. Certain things need to be done. You can't just give that up for a dream. But forgetting that just as nature tells these different species where to go and how to get there, we will be guided. We will be guided into that which is for our highest good. So this uncomfortableness that we're feeling, that's where I think the migration starts, right? Especially when we see birds that fly south for the winter. They must sit down one September and go, oh, it's getting cold up here in New York. Let me fly down to Florida. I know it's going to be warmer there. And they migrate to where they need to be. Your uncomfortableness, allow your intuition to say, this is not for you anymore. Let me guide you into that which is for your highest good. Fist in the air, top of your lungs, say with me, I always know what to do. I always know what to do. I always know when to do it. And I always know how to do it. Masterfully. I am the master of my world. Ecclesiastes verse 3 says, there is a season and an appointed time for everything, a time for every matter and purpose. Whatever you're going through, this is your season for that experience. It doesn't mean that you failed. It does not mean that you can't get through it. It means that you can. But you have to have that faith in you that knows that whatever is going on in the world, whatever I have to face, I face it with a strong and a great God. Fist in the air, top of your lungs, say with me, I never fear the changes. I never fear the changes. As we say in the hip hop generation, I ain't never scared. I ain't never scared. Remember that on Earth, there are weather patterns that sometimes destroy things. We look at hurricanes and tornadoes and volcanoes and all these. The other day, it was hailing. It's the middle of April in the New York tri-state area. We're supposed to be having sun. We're supposed to be enjoying just getting into the weather. Maybe a little bit of rain, but hail? Hail is not supposed to happen. And when I saw, I think it was Wednesday, when I saw that, I'm like, this is not supposed to happen. But it reminds me that there are some weather patterns, there are some changes that go on in our world where we look at it and we say, this ain't supposed to happen now. There are some things that happen in our world that are uncontrollable, that destroys what we have built. But this is still a great earth. And this earth is still ready to restore you, to renew you. This earth is not going to leave you because just as it sustains you with oxygen, it will sustain you with each and everything in the world. Take your cue from nature. Look at the ebb and flow of the oceans. Look at life and death. Everything is born and sometimes it has to go from our earth. Look at sunrise and sunset. The seasons roll in and they roll out. We got to roll with it. Because no matter what is going on in the world, the earth is still moving. The earth is still doing what it needs to do. So we got to go with it. The greatest thing I think about when I think about our earth is that our earth is just part of one galaxy. But there are actually thousands, if not millions of galaxies in the world. Millions of places with their own sun, their own planets, their own moons, their own stars, right? So even we can say Earth is just a tiny portion of this universe. So anyone out there that feels that they are a tiny portion of this universe, that they are not important, that they do not deserve love and compassion and joy in their life, remember, that's probably how Earth feels too, but it still does what it has to do. It's still rotating and doing what it needs to do every year, every day. It is still producing what we need, even though a lot of us are destroying it. A lot of us are, cutting down trees and things like that. The earth is still here. Remind yourself that you are still here. You are still on this planet. You are still breathing in oxygen. You are still getting up every day, doing what needs to be done. So it means then the earth is always going to keep moving, and so should you. The earth is always going to do what it needs to do, no matter what is going on the world, no matter what is going on inside the earth. Remember and remind yourself to do the same for yourself. Remind yourself that no matter what is going on, you can overcome, you will overcome, you have the power to do what needs to be done in your world. Friends, today remain thankful that the earth has rotated around the sun and we are still alive to see it. Do you realize that this celestial blue ball that we are all on, that has the gravity that keeps us grounded to the core, is moving at thousands, if not millions of miles an hour every day, moving around the sun? Could you imagine if you woke up and the earth just stopped? The rotation just stopped? What would even happen, right? So we must remember that whatever is going on, the world is still moving and it does not stop. So we can't let life pass us by. We can't let life leave us in places where we don't want to be left. Now, when we think about the rotation of the earth, I also think about leap years, right? Because every 4 years we have to add an extra day so that this rotation makes sense. And this has been going on for thousands of years. Now, when we realize that, the ancient, I think it was the Greeks, I'm forgetting my history now, but if you know, correct me, that came up with time. They had a sundial. They said, okay, we could break this down into 24 hours, break down hours into minutes, minutes into seconds. And that's how our world goes. You know, all over the world, we are using the same time. But when we realize that there is a mathematical certainty to the rotation of the earth, we realize that we can create our own mathematical equation for this planet. Everything is about cause and effect. Today, let your mathematical equation be your thoughts and your words, plus your positive actions, times the atoms of the world equal your success. Your thoughts, what you think about yourself, what you think about your world, plus the words that you send out for your world, the positive energy that you send out to your world, those two things combined now go into the energy of the universe. It's all the molecules in the world. They're all just little atoms and molecules that are ready for our word, ready to shape our lives with what we're speaking out. What cause are you putting into the world? What cause are you putting in motion? What positive affirmations is the world hearing from you? Remember, your thoughts, your word is the seed, and as you put it out of your mouth, it is being planted in the world. It is being planted in the atoms of the world. You know, this year, as we've gone through the pandemic, we realized how important mask wearing is. But when we think about those who live in colder climates, right? When you're outside and you're talking in a cold climate, you see the words coming out of your mouth. They say the smoke is coming out of your mouth. So that reminds me that every time I speak, there is something coming out of my body. There are atoms that are actually coming out of my body. Scripture says the words that come out of my mouth will not return unto me void, but must accomplish where they are sent. Every word that we are sending out is attaching to the atoms of the universe, and it is coming back to us. The world is not only round, it's spherical. So not only are you getting it one time, you're getting it billions and millions of times. It's going to come back to you. So begin to cancel those negative words out right now. I don't care if you said it 20 years ago. Cancel it out right now and know that it is done. Speak good words into your universe. Put that cause in motion. Look at this earth and how wonderful it is. As the seeds are planted, some of them might die. That's okay too. You can always replant. There is always nourishment. There is always nutrition on this earth. It's not just for the plants. It's not just for the animals. We must remember that it is for each and every one of us. Fist in the air, top of your lungs. Say with me, I set my cause in motion. I set my cause in motion for success. And the earth responds with success. The earth always responds with success. The last point I want to leave with you is a reminder that, you know, we look at the book of Genesis and God created this and God created that. And the final thing he created was us. And we are God's highest creation. Now, if we are God's highest creation, and God takes care of this all universal force, takes care of the seeds that are planted in the dirt, takes care of the babies that are planted in the mother's stomachs, takes care of the different species that produce, the different species that migrate, the different species that always find food, always have an instinct to know when to eat, what to eat, how to eat. Why would we not be taken care of? God's highest creation. Why would we not be okay? I think that people just forget that we are God's highest creation. I think people forget that Matthew 5 says, that one of my favorite ones, just as God clothes the fields and takes care of the fish of the sea, the birds of the air, the creepy, crawly things, the things that walk on earth, why would he not take care of his highest creation, That is you. That is me. We are on this earth to remember our birthright. We are on this earth to remember that whatever we do, there is success to be enjoyed. And as we remember this now, there is nothing we can't do. So anytime that you feel that you're failing, you don't know what to do, let the earth teach you how to be your best. Let the earth teach you how to plant a seed, how to nourish that seed, and how to enjoy the harvest. I see each and every one of you experiencing and enjoying your great and wonderful harvest, not only today, but all days to come. Put your fist in the air and affirm with me one last time today. I am God's highest creation. I am God's highest creation. And I will be taken care of always. I will be taken care of always. Anytime you feel that you're in the darkness, you're buried under experience, you are planted. You are being planted. Now bloom. Nourish yourself. Don't look for other people to nourish you. You got to do it for yourself. Keep your affirmations. Keep strong. Know that because you have been given another day, because the earth has rotated around the sun just for another 24 hours, you have another set of minutes now. Make them count. Make them worth it. And always know that God is giving you the best of life, the best that this earth has to offer you, his highest creation. I love you. Be blessed.